You're not allowed to bring a lot of things on planes anymore, baggage-wise, especially if you're traveling with a more budget-friendly airline. You may only be allowed to bring a personal item, no big camera bag. And if you're a photographer or if you shoot video, you normally want to bring a decent amount of things. And if you're looking to do the most cost-effective way of traveling as you can, then you're sticking by the personal item rule. I just had to go through this myself, traveling with a family to Dominican Republic, and I needed a bag that I could still bring a few things that I want to bring, both camera related and more personal related. So I started looking up what quantifies as a personal item to see the biggest bag that I can bring, and this one, the Nomatic 13 litre, which I've had since it came out, messenger bag, McKinnon 13 litre messenger bag. I've always been a fan of the smaller one, had that since it came out, but you can really only fit like a body and a lens in this. You can fit a lot more in this. So I want to show you everything I was able to fit in this, because it's way more, when you see it all out, way more than you'd imagine that you can possibly fit. So let's just get into it. One of the big reasons I actually like this bag specifically is it has this drawstring right here. And this drawstring allows you to just clip it over this little hook right here. And if you just want a quick, easy way to open and close this without having to zip it up each time, not that it takes a long time to do that, but you can do that. It does have the pass-through there if you want to put it through your roller bag. Nice big strap on here, which is kind of like a seatbelt material. Rear pocket here, which, well, actually, let's start with that, because that's, I think, the biggest thing for this compared to the smaller one. And it's because you can fit more in it than you think. So in the back here, this is how I have it configured, so I can fit everything in I need. I got my e-reader up here. I don't know which one this is. It's an Amazon. Is it Kobo they're called? I'm not too sure. It's a fairly old one now, but I like this one because it's got this little grip just here, which makes it a lot nicer to hold, and a backlight on there as well. We've also got an iPad mini in here with this little stand part on here, which kind of works as a way, you know, with budget airlines, so they don't normally have screens on them, but they have that kind of like big plastic pocket for all the literature and stuff. You can slot this over that and it will stay there. It was on a little angle, but because this is rubber, it would kind of grip the edge there, and it worked to just have my own seat back TV loaded with 1883 and Severance. So iPad mini in there. And then the work tool, the MacBook Pro, the standard configured one that came out in 2023. And this is the space gray one. And it fits in there, no problem. Look at that. Easy peasy. And I tend to have it so the screen there is facing inward. That way, there's not really any pressure applied to it. It fits all in there fine, but that way the screen is protected. So that fits in there nice and easy. Zip that back up. Exterior of this is some fancy material, and you do have like moly points on here that you could attach things to if you want. And on the bottom, you do actually have a way to attach tripod straps to this. Unclip these, pop that on there like that, pop the other one. How does it go? It's like that, yeah. And then you could put a tripod on there if you wanted to. But I didn't need a tripod for this trip, so didn't have that on there. All right, let's crack this open. Zipped is super nice. Open this up. How are we gonna do this? Maybe we'll go that way. Let's go that way. You can see the skull. The skull's nice on the back there. The branding of this bag generally is really nice. Now, I've been a huge fan of Nomatic products for many years. I use the 35 as my camera bag when I'm going on big trips, the 25 when it's a little bit of a smaller trip. I have all Nomatic luggage, the carry-ons, like big Nomatic fan. Their stuff wears extremely well. Definitely more expensive, it's more premium when it comes to bags, costs, but very well wearing product that you'll be happy with once you've had it a while. Cord, CRD pouch. This is the small one. And these are essentially like super high quality pencil cases. When I say it like that, it sounds super cheap, but tough plastic on here that you can see through, and you can get all these labels which you can attach and detach. This one is, the font is stylized. Well, let me show you. Cord makes all of these different size pouches, which I use for all of my organization there, and they make all the labels, which are Velcro, hook and loop. You can also put labels in there if you wanted to. And they make these like limited edition stylized after 80s logos there. The Dronies for the Goonies. But I've got a Teenage Mutant Ninja storage one on here, and this is for all of my cables, charging cubes. These are all Condor blue cables. I've got the iJustine one there, blue USB-C ones there, which are all Thunderbolt 4. That's what I use for storing all my stuff that I need to charge things with, hard drives. And it's got a nice hard metal carabiner on there. Is that going to focus? Yeah, there you go, carabiner on there too. So that was in there. I also have this little Game Boy style emulator, which has a ton of SNES, Mega Drive, Master System, big stand-up games machines, ROMs on there, which you can play. My son loves playing Street Fighter recently, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I think are from like the Mega Drive days, but he likes playing them. And I like to play when I'm traveling on the planes. Like the only time I really get to play games is with the Steam Deck. Steam Deck OLED. I've got a screen protector on here, which is why I didn't go for the one that had the anti-glare screen. It was too much. So I went with screen protector on the top here, which basically does the same thing. And with this, if you're not familiar with what this is what Steam came out with. Steam is like basically like Netflix for video games. You still have to pay for the games, but you have an online library of games that you can play. And this is a handheld console version. And I'm working my way slowly through Red Dead Redemption 2 with this. You can get like 2.5, 3 hours of use, or charge it on the plane with USB-C, which you might not be able to do for much longer. They don't really want you using power banks on the planes, or some airlines anymore. Speaking of which, this is an older one I've had for a while, but it's by RAV Power, and you can see it's definitely seen some use there. But always travel with one of those, because mostly for the kids' tablets, when they die on the plane, they need a way to charge them if there's no power on the plane, which most planes do have these days. But that's there too. Also because sometimes hotels, the outlets are in weird spots, depending on the age of the hotel. So you might need to charge things. So one of those in there. And then the main camera I was using for this trip to test out, because I've got a video coming, which I'm probably going to record right after this one, was the Fuji Instax Wide Evo, which is their hybrid digicam and camera that has Instax film in it, which you can turn this crank right here. You can view the photos, turn this crank, and then it'll pop out the top there. It's a super fun camera to use, and one of the reasons I really like it is because this switch right here, you see that? How it says wide angle, off or on. You basically get the X-Pan crop, but with an Instax. And it's really fun. It's a fun camera to use. The shutter button's a bit weird, but we'll talk about that in the video. So this was my main camera, and that fit nicely in the back there too. You can probably see what the next one is. Well, you see the configuration I have there? So let's talk about this first. Osmo Pocket 3. Brought this because I wasn't really sure if I would be shooting. I technically was meant to shoot some things and I didn't end up shooting it. This was meant to be in the bag too, but it wasn't in there when I started filming this, but I brought that with me. I was meant to compare these two and I just ended up shooting a bunch of stuff with this, but this was brought with me as well. And yeah, inside the bag there's a configuration. So these are the inserts you get, and you wouldn't normally use it like this. You would normally use it facing down, so you can kind of, it's like their ladder system or something. You can basically put things under other things and then use this to separate them. But I did it on the side there, and you'll see that when you put the Steam Deck this way, it fits in there perfectly like that. So that's why I did it like that. And that's basically everything in the main compartment there. Let's flip this round, and then you can see what we got in here. Socks, because I was coming from the Caribbean and I was wearing flip-flops on the plane, basically. And when I landed, I figured I'd need socks because it was back in Canada, it's still winter here, and I didn't need the socks, so they're still in there. We also have 2 lip chaps up here, one for the sun, SPF 30 on there. Mints, These are the best mints you can buy. Yum. And you'll see actually up here, these are all elasticated pockets, and that's where I had the mints, and that's where I had the lip chaps there. What do we got down here? I'm gonna show in there. What do we got in here? In here we have, right, I bought this to go with the Osmo Pocket 3, the DJI Mic 2, because it pairs with it perfectly. Didn't end up using it, but I very much packed for what if, and that was a what if case scenario. Tissues for your issues, mostly for the kids on the plane, because you never know when they're gonna need them, or if they make a mess and they need to clean up. Hand cream, because planes get very, very, you gonna focus there? Any day now. You don't like that color, do you? There we go. This is the best hand cream. Plane tickets, because Air Canada still decided to print them. In the bottom here, we have these. This is called LMNT, and this is a grapefruit salt one. It's loaded with sodium, and their kind of thesis is you need more sodium in your diet than you realize, and when you mix it with water, it's great for working out and hydrates you throughout the day, because you need sodium to be hydrated, and I am a huge fan of these. Some gum in the elasticated pockets there. Again, these are elasticated, so the big pockets there, and some garbage in the bottom there, and then my Sunny G's. The focus is gone. How long has that been gone for? All right, that's better. So I had these, but I also had the Ray-Ban Metas with me, but I ruined a pair, KO'd them before in the ocean, so I was very cautious this time about using them, so I brought my regular sunglasses with me as well, which are these ones, and they are super dirty, sandy from the ocean. They're polarized. The nice thing with these is I have my initials engraved on the side there. You can do that on Ray-Ban's website for free, I think it was. Maybe it costs a little bit more, but it's a nice little touch. Some USD, because when you go, wow, this camera's having a hard go today. There we go. When you go down south, you need US currency mostly for tips. There's a really nice bit of branding in here I want to show you on this bag. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it. Probably not. Can you see that in there? Fly the flag. Nice. So yeah, that was everything I managed to fit in this. And you could exchange out this camera for a different camera, but very impressed by how much you can fit in this. And if you're in a situation where you ever need to fly with just a personal item, this is what I'd recommend. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care.